Hey guys, as you know, we do our best to stick to the topic, and our topic is Japan. So we try to make sure that all our videos are just about Japan and nothing else. Try not to get distracted by anything else. However, occasionally something comes up that will force us to address it, and this is one of those examples. So a couple of things came up and we sort of ignored them, and a couple more things came up, and then we had a pretty insulting comment. It might not have meant to be insulting, but it came up that sort of set this video off. So just want to clarify a couple of things. So one is the English friendly directory. Some of you would be aware, those of you who have been with us for a while might remember back when the Tohoku disaster happened and the tsunami and the disaster happened, there was a competition on YouTube to do things. What can YouTubers do to help Japan? And we had a bit of a talk about it with a Japanese friend of ours, and decided that something that might help Japan after the Tohoku disaster was to start the English friendly directory, because we thought anything that we could do to help visitors coming to Japan, or encourage them, because we knew from our videos that we got lots of comments from people who wanted to come to Japan but were a little bit nervous about doing it because they couldn't speak Japanese. And one thing led to another, and because of the questions we get from our viewers too about places to stay and places to go, that sort of came together, and we thought English friendly directory. So that the English friendly directory was actually our entry into the YouTube competition, right? So as you can imagine, building that website was quite an expensive proposition, but at the time it seemed like a good thing to do. So we went into partnership with our Japanese friend and built that website, and then started building up the people on it. So actually that competition was won by some odd videos. Anyway, that's beside the point, but that's just letting you know the background on the English friendly directory. That's why we started it, right? And then we're really careful with it. The businesses that are on there, we make sure they are genuinely English friendly. If someone registers on there and lists their business, we check them out. And providing people can do business with them using only English, that's good enough for us. So if it's a restaurant, they might just have one menu in English, and that might be enough because people can read the menu. The staff can't speak English, doesn't matter. The customer can just point to the thing on the menu and get it. So that's our requirement, is that the people must be able, English speaking people must be able to do business with that business without using Japanese, so only using English. And if they can do that, that's English friendly. So, and there's different levels. Some of you would have seen that. There's a star rating thing. So if it's just a menu that's written in English, it's 1 star. And if they've got more of an explanation in English, that's 2. And if the staff can speak English, that's 3. So for most businesses, that's enough. For doctors and dentists and things, of course, we need the doctor or the dentist to be able to speak English. So that's our requirements on there. Above that, they need to have a reasonably good reputation. So when they first register on the directory, we check them out to make sure that they have a reasonably good reputation and there's no people aren't complaining about them or anything. And then we interact with them, we send them an email, and we interact with them too, and we get a bit of a feel for it as well. And over the years, we have deleted businesses that either weren't English friendly or just had a bad attitude. Our thinking is, you know, if we email them and we try and communicate with them and they don't treat us well, or they don't respond to us within 2 days, we checked you guys, we asked you guys a few years ago, and you said that you expected reactions from companies or responses from companies within 2 days. So if they don't respond to us within 2 days, you know, or for any other reason, we've had a couple of rude business owners and you know, different people, and we'll just delete their listing. We'll say, no, sorry, we can't recommend you, and we'll delete their listing. So the point is that we're very careful about who can go on there, right? We can't be bought. Coming along and saying, and because some of you know that there are a lot of free listings, the majority of the listings on the directory are free, but they're also paid listings as well. They pay 10,000 yen a year, that's $100. They pay $100 for a year, which is what, $2 a week or something. So the paid businesses as well. And again, they still have to meet the requirements. Coming along and paying the $100 for the listing won't keep them on there. We've actually have refunded. One year there was a guy who was a bit rude and aggressive, and the customers weren't happy with him, and we refunded him his money and deleted his listing. So, you know, we can't be bought. That's the point of this video, and we'll get to some more topics in a minute along the same lines, but we can't be bought. And then with the videos as well, we get sent things, people send us things. We've showed you, you know, we've been sent pies, and we've been sent the fake food, and we've been sent all sorts of things, snack boxes and things over the years. And we get sent all sorts of stuff, and quite often, if it's not related to Japan, we just don't do it. And we get emails all the time too. Gaming companies, people that make gaming software and all sorts of that, you know, if you talk about our game on your videos, we'll pay you this much money. And we get that sort of stuff all the time, and we won't do it, because if it's not related to Japan, we won't do it. Or if it's something, it is related to Japan, but we don't think it's very good, we won't do it. And those ones you never hear about, because if we get that email and we think, no, I don't like the look of that, we delete it. You know, and if someone sends us something and it's like, no, I don't like this, you never hear about it, because we just go, no, we're not going to show anybody that. So again, we can't be bought, right? That's the point of this video, is to make this quite clear. And look, just to clarify too, the last 12 months has probably been the toughest 12 months financially that we've had for a really long time. You know, we're really struggling. That corkboard we talk about, it's right there, and it's covered in bills, and you know, it's been a really tough year. So if there was any time that we could have been bought, it would have been recently, but we can't be bought, right? We can't be bought. And so someone made a comment recently that was sort of like the final straw. There's a couple of things, we'll get to a couple other things in a minute, but there's sort of like the final straw. Some guy left a comment on one of the videos and said, oh, you must be rolling in money now, recommend, oh, it's because made a video talking about Holy Smokes, the bar in Hakkabee. And he left this comment about, oh, you don't make driving and talking videos anymore, and you must be making too much money from all these videos you're making for these companies, and just insulting and incorrect nonsense, basically. So I don't really care. We get comments from rude people all the time. Doesn't really matter. But it was sort of like the final straw, because we've had a few other things happen recently along those lines. And so I just wanted to clarify, actually using that one as an example, Holy Smokes have paid us no money at all. The guy whose apartment we stayed in Hakkabee, who also paid us no money at all, told us about those guys, and we checked them out, and they seem really cool, right? So the way we see it is, when we give them a free listing on the directory and we make a video telling you about it, if one person who watches the video goes, oh, that looks cool, and when they go to Hakkabee they go there, that video is worth making, because that person has got some good experience because of that video. And particularly at the moment, when so many small businesses are struggling, if those guys get one customer, walk in the door and buy one drink because of that video, then it was worth making. That's our thinking. You know, they paid us nothing to make that video. Nobody, in 10 years, nobody has ever paid us to make a video. Never. We refuse. We've never accepted money for a video, ever, from any video. And also, we refuse content. We tell them, anybody who says, oh, we thought you might be interested in this, make a video about this, we'll tell them straight away, look, it's editorial. And because sometimes business owners would say, oh, it'd be really good if you'd mention this, and it'd be really good if you mention that. And our response to that is always, these videos are editorial. The people who watch our videos trust us because they know we always tell them what we really think. So we'll only tell them what we believe. Now, maybe some of those things the business owner pointed out are good points that we think are good for you to know. And in that case, we'll tell you. But we've never accepted a script or a list of things that we should include, or yen, not 1 yen for any video that we've ever made being paid. The only people who've paid us for videos is YouTube, pay us about that much a month, and that's through Google AdSense, and our supporters on Patreon and our supporters on PayPal. And it's those guys, the PayPal and the Patreon guys, who really allow us to make the videos. So the other stuff, the English Friendly Directory, of course we're trying to make money from that, because that's a business. And so we want as many English friendly businesses on there as possible who pay us to be on there, you know, who pay us their $100 a year. you know, because obviously, you know, it's income and it really is important to us. But we can't be bought. That's the thing I want to stress with this video, that paying $100 to get their business on the directory won't get them a video. The only thing that will get them a video is if we think making the video is going to be of some benefit to somebody who's watching, you know. So that's the most important point with that. And then continuing on with the Patreon thing, a few years ago, well actually for quite some time, people used to say to us when Patreon first happened and those other community support type platforms first started to happen, some of our viewers used to say, hey, why don't you get on there, because I'd love to support your channel, you know, and people used to say it to us all the time. And we used to say, no, we don't want to do that because we don't want to have our content influenced, you know. And some of you might know our friend Man Jack, who is actually an old high school friend of mine, who provides a lot of the music for our videos. And he has refused to sell his music. And, you know, some of you would have been really, I know some of you really enjoy his music because some of it's really good, you know, but he's always refused to sell his music because he doesn't want to have his creativity influenced by money, right? Which I totally respect, and we're not as strong-willed as him when it comes to that, but that was why we didn't want to go on Patreon, because what we didn't want was people telling us what we should and shouldn't make videos about, you know, and putting financial pressure on us, so we just refused to do it. And then we were convinced, a couple of people put some really good arguments to us. One person in particular really convinced us that no, that's not how patronage works. Patronage is when somebody likes what you do so much that they want you to continue it, and they offer to support you so that you can continue it. And they sort of put a very good argument, and I was like, yeah, okay, I can see that. So we gave it a go, and it has been amazing. Our 200 supporters on Patreon have been absolutely amazing, and nobody has put any pressure on us at all. A couple of occasionally, of course, people say, I really like those videos, you know, the unskilled labourer videos, you know, there's a couple of people who like them and really like those unskilled labourer videos, would like to see some more of those, and would like this and would like that. One of our buddies on Patreon doesn't like the flower videos. Another bloody flower video, he says, you know, but he's not. None of those people are putting pressure on us. They're not saying if you make another flower video, we won't support you anymore, or if you don't make unskilled labour videos, won't support you anymore. Because that's not how our videos work. You know, we don't. The unskilled labour videos happen when a project looks like it's going to be big enough to be worth watching, right? You know, a lot of the little projects that happen around this old house aren't worth a video, but occasionally we get a job, sometimes a job that starts small and starts to get out of hand. All right, we better get the camera out. This could be a video, you know. And the same with the flowers. You know, some of the people love the flowers. So our videos happen, and the same as the driving and talking videos. That guy suggested that we're not making driving and talking videos anymore because we're making too much money, which is just wrong on so many levels. You know, making too much money has not been a problem. I guarantee you of that. You know, it really hasn't. I'm working 6 days a week as much as I can to bring in as much income as I can, and it's not enough. You know, and so that leads us to the next thing. Recently we did the Hakkabee video. Now, some of you know that the last time I had a few days away from the computer, I had 5 weeks in hospital a couple of years ago, and continued to shoot video in the hospital, right, even though I didn't have access to the internet. You know, some of you would have seen those videos lying there with, you know, 2 IV tubes and, you know, bottles of liquids flowing in and out of my body. And I still made videos, you know, and so we don't usually get holidays. And particularly the last 12 months or so, there's been no holidays, you know. And then the guys at Hakkabee Holiday offered us that apartment that we stayed in up there for free, right, virtually. I mean, we just gave them a couple of dollars for the cleaners, right? And it was basically a kindness from him, right? And sort of at the time, it did cross my mind at the time that, you know, what an elegant place it was. And interestingly, after that video, we got a little bit of criticism and lost some patrons. So some people stepped down their support on Patreon, and a couple of people actually stopped supporting us on Patreon. And it was sort of like, oh, these guys don't need money anymore. They're living this great lifestyle, so we won't support them anymore, which sort of that too was a little bit like can't be bought, because what that means is, again, affecting our content. So that means what? Not just our content either, but our lifestyle. That means what? If we're offered something like a couple of nights in an apartment, or something else good that we might get offered by somebody, and we told you guys when we made that video that they'd given us that place. They invited us to go and stay there, right? That's why we went and stayed there, because they invited us to go and stay. And so there was no secrets to any of that, and it wasn't that we have this great lifestyle where we can spend thousands of dollars for a holiday. We were offered that apartment to go and stay in, so we took them up on it. And again, we don't want that pressure to feel that if we accept this, or if we do this, or if we make a video about that, we've already got enough pressure from YouTube and Facebook and all these other people with their censorship, what we can and can't talk about. What we don't want is pressure from people that we think, if we show a video of us up in the mountains in the snow, maybe we'll lose some patrons. We just don't want that. Don't want that influence. That again, that's that feeling that we can be bought. If we don't behave like we're supposed to, or do what we're supposed to do, we can't. We might lose some patrons. We might lose some support for our channel. And as much as every yen really matters at the moment, and our patronage dropped right down since that Hakkabee video. Our patronage took a big jump. Just some people reduced their patronage a bit, and some a lot, and some just stopped altogether. And some of the PayPal people too that have been sending support on PayPal stopped doing it as well. So whether they missed the video where we explained that, we actually made a video just for patrons and PayPal people. Only patrons and PayPal people saw it before we went to Hakkabee, and we explained to them what had happened, that this guy had offered us this apartment, and we had stated it. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe some people didn't see that video and missed that it was actually given to us, that visit to the apartments. Who knows? But anyway, again, just repeating it, that's why this video is being made. Really hummed and hard about making this video, and then decided in the end, let's make it once. And we've done this with other topics that are similar to this over the years, that you get a topic that comes up a few times where someone suggests, or different people suggest different things, that you can be bought for this, or you can be bought for that, or you're doing that to make money, or you're doing that to make money. I mean, of course, we've got a family support, we do a lot of things to make money, but none of it's covert. Not one video, just repeating, not one video we've ever made of our thousands of videos in the last 10 years has ever been made in return for money, except from Google and our PayPal and Patreon supporters. But nobody has ever said, we'll pay you this money and you make that video, and we've made the video. It's never happened. Every week we get emails. The gamers, for some reason, gaming software people are always saying, if you talk about our game on your videos, we'll send you some money. Not once have we ever done it. And that's why those sort of comments dig at us a bit, because we know we probably could have made a lot more money over the years if we'd taken these offers, but we just don't do it. We can't be bought. Again, we can't be bought. We won't allow a business in English Friendly Directory that we think is not a good business, no matter how much they offer to pay. We can't be bought. And we won't make videos about companies, and we won't be pressured into making videos or not making videos about topics. We won't accept that pressure. Oh, you can't make a video about going up to the mountains because you lose patrons, or you can't make a video about flowers. Now, I know, Stephen, I know you didn't say that, right? but for example, we won't be pressured to not make videos on a topic, or to make other make videos about other topics or anything. We can't be bought. So that was the main reason for this video, just to clarify those things. The guy that made the rude comment on YouTube actually said he was a patron. Couldn't find that name, because the YouTube names and the Patreon names often don't match up. Couldn't find him on Patreon to address it. But if someone did, and it's possible that guy wasn't meaning to be offensive, but sometimes some young viewers sometimes will make comments that they probably don't realise are offensive, and he might not have meant to be offensive, but we would, as painful as it would be, we would block a patron who tried to pressure us. No one ever has. Again, just repeating that, no one ever has. you know, and we welcome those comments. Of course, people who watch our videos, anybody who has an opinion, well, I really like those videos or I really don't like those videos. That's, of course, we always welcome that. You know, lots of people don't like the Japanglish videos. They think they're too critical, or they don't like, our friend doesn't like the flower videos, or, you know, there are videos that we make that some people really don't like, and there's some videos that we like that some people really do like. But, you know, our videos aren't really part of some strategy. They're just what we think someone will find interesting. And we've always said that. If one person finds a video interesting, then we think it's worth making. You know, and we've got such a diverse group of people who watch our videos that, you know, some people like the flower videos, some people like the unskilled labourer videos, some people like the Japanglish videos. You know, there's some people that like the different ones, and that's why we try and mix it up. And that's why we try to, when we release the videos, we try and mix it up too. So you're not watching food videos 3 days in a row, or, you know, but we make them just based on what we think's interesting and that someone might enjoy. But we're not going to be bought to make or not make videos. So hopefully we've covered all that now, and then yeah, that's it. So from the idea is make this video once, never talk about it again. We've had this with other things like the comments. We talked about that recently. We made one video about the comments. That's the defining video now. Anyone asks about why the comments aren't working, we give them that video. And this is for this. If anyone ever suggests again that we've been bored or that we're being paid to do something or say something, they're going to get this video. Just repeating again, we can't be bought. Okay. As much as I'd love to sell out for a big lump of money and pay all those bills. Love to do it. Really would love to do it. But sadly, can't do it. Sorry. Can't be bought. Anyway, sorry about that. Again, oh, by the way too, the English-friendly videos and this video are additional. So what we do with these is we usually release them at night, Japan time, because every morning we release our Japan video, right? So when we get a crappy topic like this, it's not Japan related, usually we release it at night, so it's an additional video. So you're not missing out on a Japan video, you're still going to get your daily Japan video, and this is additional. And the English-friendly videos are quite often the same. You know, we'll release them additional to the usual daily video. So, because we know the English-friendly Japan videos are usually only relevant to people in Japan, except for the mail order stuff. So, anyway, that was that. No more of that. No more talking about that. We can't be bought. More videos coming soon.